am so excited. Today we have Dr. Ashley Little, and she is the very definition of a mogul. So thank you so much for joining. Let me just share you a little bit about her. She is the CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, which encompasses her media, consulting work, writing, ghostwriting, book publishing, and the list goes on, empowerment, speaking, public relations, project management, and so much more. I mean, I don't know how she does it all, but I am so excited to learn more about what she does, because I know most of it, but I know she does way more than I know on the surface, and she is just always everywhere. So welcome to Lady Mogul Talk. We are so happy to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here, Avery. Thank you for this amazing opportunity to be on your amazing platform.
Yes, and so we're just going to dig right in. And first, I have to give you a shout out. Thank you so much for being a partner with Black Women Moguls. She is always about collaboration. So what did I not miss? What did I miss in your bio? Please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started as an award-winning serial entrepreneur.
Well, a little bit about me. Avery has said, most of it, but my name is Dr. Ashley Little, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises. Consists of my media, book coaching, book publishing, speaking, consulting. I'm also the host and executive producer of Creating Your Seat at the Table show, CEO, founder, and editor-in-chief of Creating Your Seat at the Table International Magazine. I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm a 13-time best-selling author now. 13-time best-selling author. I've written about 20 or more books. I'm a journalist. I write for Medium and some other major outlets. I have two successful publishing companies, Little Publishing LLC, where I help, aspiring authors, new authors, and seasoned authors develop their manuscripts, share their story, and market and monetize their books and grow their brands. And I'm also the CEO, founder, and visionary author of the HBCU Experience Movement LLC, the first Black-owned publishing company to publish prominent HBCU alumni stories throughout the world. And I'm also the founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network LLC. So my whole brand is around serving others. It's all about giving back, creating tables for others to come to the table, because that's what it's about. And I got into entrepreneurship, in corporate America, because I am a corporate executive by day, serial entrepreneur by night, award-winning serial entrepreneur. But I was pushed out there through some different seasons that I experienced with another company a couple years ago, going through discrimination as a Black woman in executive level positions, those different seasons that were very traumatic, but they were for my good, because they pushed me out into entrepreneurship to want to own my own legacy, to want to create my own tables, to want to build my own tables.
That's what I love about you. You do build your own tables and you bring other people to the table. And of course, your TV show and radio show is Create Your Own Table. I just love everything that you stand for, because without people like you, we wouldn't be able to progress as a community, especially HBCUs. The attention that you bring to HBCUs is so pivotal to bring awareness of why it's still important. And shout out to our own HBCUs. Yes. I know the value of that experience. So kudos to you for keeping that movement alive. So how, growing up, let's start there before we get into more about HBCUs. Obviously, education was very important to you. So what was it like growing up, and what role did education play in your life with the formative years and then going on into college? And then you can also speak about your HBCU experience.
Hey, it played a very, very big role. Coming from a family of HBCU grads, of a family that believes in the power of education, believing in education from little to all the way now, right? It was always a big influence in my household, in my family, to go get your education, to be resilient, to, build your own tables, create your own tables, and to, give back as well, right? And so those things were instilled in me at a very early age, all the way up to now, all the way through high school, through college, was very involved in many things in high school as well. I mean, even as a little child, beauty pageants, different pageants and sports and karate, ballerina. Then went to high school, very involved in, SGA, different organizations, different clubs. Then on to college, You know, I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I was in SGA. I started
Mhm.
organizations on campus. I did a lot of community service, very involved on the yard, right? And
Mhm.
so all those experiences really played a big part into who I am today, because at the end of the day, it's all about bringing other people with you, and it's all about serving others. And my platform is built off
Right.
serving others, and serving others have opened up so many doors for me that a degree could not open up, that I could not open up on my own, right? The power of serving others is so, so powerful. And my HBCU experience was amazing. I mean, it's nothing like going to HBCU. No disrespect to, the PWIs, but it's nothing like going to a HBCU, that family environment, having a mentorship, having professors that care about you, that know you by your name, right? I'm having those relationships, that lifelong relationships that turn into family. Anywhere I go, whether it's in the country or out of the country, if I see an Aggie, it's all love. It's all love, and the doors are open for me. So I can't really explain my HBCU experience. You have to experience it though, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
And that is so amazing. And also, you have a scholarship as well and that's another way that you give back, right?
Absolutely. So with the HBCU experience, we're creating partnerships and endowments for every HBCU, right? So it's a financial part to it as well. So I founded the company to increase HBCU enrollment and to increase young alumni giving. So we're creating partnerships and endowments for every university that we go to. And my goal is to touch all 107, and I will touch all 107. And I also do have a nonprofit as well, Sweetheart Scholars, where I go back to my hometown. I'm a co-founder of that with some other amazing women. We started the company and the organization about 3-4 years ago, and we're helping our African American females, financially through college. And you have to be a senior to apply for the scholarship, and you go through an interview process, and you meet with us, look at your GPA, you write to your community service, and then we select the winners and help them financially through their 4 years.
That is so amazing. And what a living legacy that you have to be able to be in a position to give back. I know so many people want to be in a position to help their community, but they're just not there yet. But
Yeah.
it just goes to show that you just have to be patient. You will eventually just keep being persistent. You are such a hard worker. So I have no doubt that this is coming back tenfold for you. So it's just amazing to just be a witness of your continued success because, like I said, she is everywhere, y'all.
And look, I have to give all credit to God, though. I take no credit for nothing that's happening in my life. He gets all the
Mhm.
credit. So it's definitely God first. So.
Yes, yes, definitely. Now, of course, we have heard your extensive bio. How do you do it all? How do you, I wouldn't say, I don't like to say balance because you can't really balance, but how do you prioritize? How do you get through your days of leisure and business?
Well, first, I get up at 4 a.m. every morning consistently. Okay. I get up at 4 a.m. The first hour is for me. That's for me to meditate, for me to read, for me to pray, for me to get me together. And then, of course, I make my to-do list that I do go off on a daily basis. But you're right. You really can't ever find a balance. But, those are some best practices that I do use. And I also work out. I don't work out every day, but I at least work out 3 to 4 times
Mhm,
a week, because I really believe
mhm.
that you really have to be, spiritually, physically, and mentally together, right? All three components play a big part. So that's what I do. Consistently get up at 4 a.m. every day. The first hour is meditation, reading, praying, getting me together. Then, of course, creating my to-do
Mhm.
list and going about my day that way.
And I think that it's so important for us to adopt healthy practices. I remember even last year, I was working on the weekends, working late at night, and I said, no, we need to actually have a life. We're not in business, even if we still have a 9 to 5, we're not in business or in our 9 to 5 just to be working all the time. We actually want to go and enjoy life. We don't want to look back years later and say, we were just working and nothing to show for a fulfilled life. So I appreciate those tips that you gave to have a more fulfilled life, praying, meditating, exercising, which you need to do better with. But that's another conversation.
I wasn't always great at that, right? But I had to learn the hard way. So a couple years ago, I used to,
Yeah.
overdo it and get sick, and that's not good, right? And so I had to learn to have some
Mm-mm.
type of balance. and to understand that self-care is a
Mm-hmm.
part of it, right? And so do honestly
Mm-hmm.
believe that I've gotten a whole lot better than I was years ago. But I understood that, hey, if you're not here, then it's not going to matter, right? You have to be healthy inside and out. So that's really what pushed me out
Right.
to really making sure that I make time
Mm-hmm.
for me and take care of my mental.
Yes, and I learned the hard way too. And I said, "This is no, not never again. We can't have this."
Yes, yes.
Now, transitioning just a little bit. So, of course, you have a live radio and TV show, Creating Your Seat at the Table. Tell us why it was important to start this platform. And for those who do not know, I know what it is, but for those who do not know, tell us more about this.
Well, I started Creating Your Seat at the Table, the whole media platform, a couple years ago, about 3 years ago now, right? And I started this platform because I wanted to be able to provide access to people that you probably would not be able to talk to on a regular basis. The Les Browns, the Dr. George
Mm-hmm.
Frasers, the Dr. Dennis Kimbros, Claire Saunders, people like that, and people like yourself that are doing amazing things, right? That are building their tables, really building their tables and creating their tables and giving people access to these amazing people so that you can hear their successes and their failures, right? Of how they got to where they are today. And so I know a lot of people won't have that type of access. So I was like, okay, I want to create a platform where I'm going to interview some amazing people internationally and nationally around the world that people might know about, that people might not know about, that are breaking glass ceilings, and they're going to share their stories of how they've created their own tables, how they've built their own tables, their successes and failures, and how they and also be able to provide solutions from my audience so they can be able to create their own tables and build their own tables. So that's why I really created. And it started off, I went out there and I just did it, right? And then from my TV and radio show, I have my magazine now, and it's continuing to build. So it has been an amazing blessing this platform has been, and I just love interviewing amazing people, and I mean, like yourself, who will be on the show tonight, to really share. And I really want, and I'm very what's the word, very, it's very important to me to have people that really are building their tables, that really are, creating their seat, because I really want the audience to gain value from it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so they can really be able to step up and do the same thing.
And I would just want to point out one important thing that you said, that you like to show their successes and their failures, because we tend to glamorize entrepreneurship, but we don't show the behind the scenes, the days we want to just pull our hair out and scream and cry, quit even. And that's why it's really important for us to share our stories, because we want people to know that they're not alone. We struggle, even if we've sometimes reached a success level, you still struggle, maybe on a different level. We might have different problems, but it's an ongoing thing, but it's worth it in the end.
Yes. Yeah, yes, it is, right? The process is so important. And I think, like you said, people focus on the accolades. And yeah, that's fine. But the process is what makes it, right? The process is important to
Mm-hmm.
embrace the journey and embrace the process, because that's where you build your resilience.
Definitely, definitely. So I always like to address, of course, what is current in the world. And even though we are slowly but surely, hopefully, coming back from COVID, there are still businesses that are struggling today. So what advice do you have for those businesses who might still be struggling, or they might be on the verge of giving up because of maybe job loss, or they're not able to fund their business as they were originally to, or they had to maybe pick up a second job and not focus on their business as much?
I would tell them, do not quit. Do not quit. Push through, right? Push through. Also, invest in mentors and coaches who are 30 steps ahead of you, right? That are where you want to go. That knowledge is so powerful. The personal development is so powerful. And it actually shortens your learning curve, right? Because,
Mm-hmm.
like you just stated before, I don't know one successful person that has not went through the process, that has not had lessons they had to learn. Because I call them lessons, right?
Mm-hmm.
They really push them out there.
Mm-hmm.
So just embrace this journey and push through, and do not give up. Do not give up. That's what I would tell anybody right now. Understand, push through, do it by yourself, do it
Mhm.
scared, do it anyway. But please don't give up.
I would say, I always like to say patience and persistence is so important in entrepreneurship because you just never know what the next day will look like. But as we said earlier, it is worth it. There might be times where you do want to quit, where you don't even see like a light at the end of the tunnel, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep reinvesting in yourself, no matter what that looks like. I mean, it can be monetary, but it might just be reading, or sometimes it might be taking a break too. You have to reset your mind and make sure that you know that you can achieve. So that's also important as well.
You know, I'm reading a book right now called The 10X Rule, right, by Grant Cardone, and he's my mentor and
Mm-hmm.
don't even know it. One of my mentors and don't even know it. And he always say, you know, don't quit, right? Even the difference
Mm-hmm.
between people that quit and people that don't, even if they thought, even if they did, they didn't give up though. They kept going, and that's the difference, right? So just pushing through and understanding it's a part of the journey, and taking that
Mm-hmm.
massive action every day and being consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Being consistent, you're right. Consistency will take you further than anything else. It does not have to be perfect. Just be consistent.
Right. Ooh, perfection and procrastination are the killers of
Yes,
businesses.
yes, yes.
Now, I want to talk about some of your books. I mean, you have written book after book, and you help other people to publish their books. So tell us about that process, and feel free to plug in your business right here as well, about your publishing company. But what was that process like? I'm eventually going to finish a book, but I'm struggling. So,
I love it.
yes.
Yes, so I love telling people and motivating people and coaching people to tell their stories. It is so much power in storytelling. Share your story. Don't. It's so many people sitting on their stories, and some of them in the graveyard too. I hate to say it, but Les Brown always say that the most dreams and goals, they're in the graveyard. And so I would say this: tell your story. There's power in storytelling. Even if you just change one life, you've done your
Mm-hmm.
part. But please stop holding your story in, because you never know who's
Mm-hmm.
out there waiting on you to share it. And I'm gonna tell you, a couple years ago when I wrote my first book, it opened up so many doors for me. I wrote my first book when I was a collaboration contributing author, and I wrote Dear Fear, You Cannot Have My Power. That was my chapter, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time I was vulnerable to the world. I shared a lot of things that I had not shared with anyone. I talked about the discrimination that I went through in corporate America, those traumatic seasons, right? I talked about that. I talked about losing my
Mm-hmm.
grandfather, who was very close to me back in 2011. It was the first major loss, and I went through depression for 3 years. No one knew it because I
Wow.
kept smiling. I kept working, right? You never know what people are going through. That's why you have to be nice and kind to people, right? You just never
Mm-hmm.
know. And then I also talked about
Mm-hmm.
my dad going through cancer a couple years later. And so it was really like a 360 again for my grandfather, but I was able to handle it better because of the other seasons that I had to go through. And I just talked about that, and,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes feeling like, I wanted to quit, but I did not give up though. I did not give up because there's so much power in that. And then I also talked about, of course, how God played a major part, having the coaches and mentors that I had in my life that really helped me during those times. And that's why it's so important to invest in mentors and coaches. And so writing my first book, it opened up so many doors, so many speaking opportunities for me, empires, my publishing companies that I do, different businesses that I
Mm-hmm.
started, different networking and collaborations and partnerships came out of me sharing my story. That's why I tell you, it's so much power. It changed my life. Okay, it changed my life. So share your story. You just never know what doors are going to open for you. And I tell people, even if you just do one collaboration book, everybody should do at least one, because it's a networking opportunity. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
partnerships that can be made out of those opportunities, and it has opened up tremendous doors for me. That's why I'm a big collaborator, because I help people build collaboration books. I've been visionary authors. I've been forward authors. I've been contributing authors. I've been authors of solos. And so I love it. I love, storytelling. I love helping people do it. I know the power in it. I know what it can do for people. It can expand your company or your brand if you have one, and it also can give you a start if you don't have a brand. Right? It can give you a start to start forming that and start building it. So it's so many opportunities and streams of incomes that you can get from creating your story, workshops, conferences. It's so many things. So I tell everybody, share your story, write the book. You can also reach out to me at Little Publishing LLC, and I also have the HBCU Experience Movement LLC as well. Both of them are publishing companies, but definitely, even if you don't reach out to me, share your story, write that book.
So many gems just dropped. I hope you all caught that. And if you don't believe like that she is the GOAT of books, just go to her Instagram. She shares so many receipts. I'm like, oh, wow, that was quick for them getting their success. She knows her stuff. And I don't co-sign everybody, but I can co-sign on Dr. Ashley Little. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you,
Now,
Avery.
yes, I want to just ask, like, you are obviously a very accomplished woman, and I'm sure it might just be hard to answer this question. Which, in your career, which accomplishment or maybe collaboration has been the biggest shock or the biggest, the one that you would say was like, oh my gosh?
Oh my God, I'm gonna say this. There was so many that I've been blessed with, thank God. I would say, I'm gonna give you two. Being featured in Black Enterprise last October was amazing. Okay. That's the number one publication in the world, right? And being featured in Black Enterprise, I was like, okay, it was just a big shock. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep pushing harder. Somebody's watching because I didn't even know that was coming. I didn't even know it was coming, and that's why I tell people, do the work, have the results, and it will come to you. You go and you be consistent and you do the work. I didn't even know it was coming. So that was one of my, successes that I'm still like, oh my God. Also becoming a TEDx speaker. That was another big accomplishment for me. So I just recently became a TEDx speaker. So I would say those two. It's many more, but I would say those two that really stand out for me.
Congratulations on that success. I mean, yes, everybody wants to be featured in Black Enterprise, and every speaker aspires to be a TEDx speaker. So I think those are very great accomplishments to highlight among the many that you have had, because I know all of them are special in their own way.
Yeah, they are. And I'm just giving, like I stated before, giving God all the credit for those doors that He continues to open for me. But as I stated before, I'm all about serving others. I'm telling you, serving others has opened up so many doors. Because my thing is, we got to get rid of the scarcity mentality. You have to, because you won't go far with that. Mm-hmm. You have to understand that we all can win. It's not going to hurt me or hurt my brand by helping my sister or by helping my brother. And we have to learn that power in that, because it's power in collaboration. It's power in networking.
It definitely is. Collaboration over competition. Everybody can win. Even if you're in different lanes, or in the same lane, it doesn't matter. You can collaborate in some way. Maybe like your product or service is not the same as mine, but maybe your audience needs it in some way. You just never know who you can impact with collaboration.
Yes. It's powerful. And Avery, I just love everything that you're doing with your platform, how you help people and give back and serve. And this is an amazing platform. So I can't wait to see all the great things that you're going to continue to do with this amazing platform. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And speaking of what's next, we want to know what is next on the table for you. I know you always have something up your sleeve, so give us a little something.
So of course, we're in the second quarter, so I have some more speaking opportunities coming up, some more things, some more books coming out with the HBCU experience, and just, continuing to work hard and be consistent and serve. The doors getting ready to open back up now, so getting ready to travel some more. And so I'm excited to see what the second quarter is going to, how I'm going to finish the second quarter and mm-hmm. finish out the rest of this year. And the goal is to finish it strong.
Yes, we will finish it strong, no doubt.
We will.
Now, I want to make sure that we talked about your live radio show and your TV show. Are there any other businesses you want to plug in? And then you can also just reiterate how we can keep up with you.
Well, you all definitely can. The HBCU Experience Movement is www.thehbcuexperiencemovement.com. Of course, I have Little Publishing, Creating Your Seat at the Table. Ashley Little Enterprise. You can go to my main website for all of my other companies at www.ashleylittlenterprises.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Dr. Ashley Little, on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little, and on Clubhouse at Dr. Ashley Little.
Wonderful. And we will make sure that you can also click those links below on this on this page. So is there any last advice or any last words of encouragement you want to leave our audience with today?
I would say this: understand that we all can win. I can't stress it enough. We all can win. We all can win. And don't forget that serve your way to the top. Serve your way to the top. When you serve your way to the top, you will never lack anything.
That is a great note to end this segment on. I am just always encouraged by all of our guests. We've never had a bad guest because everyone in their own right does amazing things, and you are no different. You are so exceptional in everything that you do, and I am just honored to know you.
I'm honored to know you as well, and I cannot wait, as we continue to collaborate and grow together. I can't wait.
Yes, thank you, and I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out Dr. Ashley Little and her platforms. Please follow her on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Check out just everything that she does because she's someone you would want to know, and she knows like so many great events. So be sure to check her out. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to another segment of Lady Mogul Talk.